You got to stand for 4 minutes. Is that okay? Can you make it? You're okay. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about Jim as he stands very nicely between the flags. He's a native of 1968, San Antonio since 1968, but he's a native of suburban New York City. His love of golf, well, let me get this right here. His love of golf brought him down to the University of Arizona, where he aspired to play golf in the hotter, drier climate in Tucson, free of the many trees he had at home, where he was, I thought I was going to see that, but that's okay. We'll come right here to this. Upon graduation in 1967, he had a BS in business marketing. He's commissioned into the United States Marine Corps, designated a naval aviator in 1968. He spent 1969 in Vietnam flying the CH-46 helicopters that you see here. Interestingly, on the left, you'll see him pointing to a bullet hole in one of the CH-46 helicopters. And on the right, as I understand it, that is your last flight in Vietnam before you departed. So, he returned to Pensacola to instruct flying fixed-wing aircraft, attained his goal to land a jet and a helicopter on an aircraft carrier. He had thousands of helicopter landings on all sorts of ships. After his esteemed military service, his first job was in mobile offshore drilling oil business. Landed him happily in Scotland, where in addition to building large platforms, he certainly got experienced in Scottish golf, whiskey, and women. And so here we have Jim playing the old course at St. Andrews. He is the one up on the top right, and then here are the girls he met in the pub. Okay. So he returned to San Antonio after spending time with his father, Tom Berg, who was a wonderful, prominent Rotarian, and his wonderful mother, Evelyn, as well. And he came down and attended Rotary meetings with Tom. And he looked at his daddy one day and he said, you know, it's just too big. I just don't know anyone. But he decided to go all in, and he decided to join a Rotary Club in 1976. The Rotary Club of San Antonio became a Rotarian, as well as a San Antonian alongside his dad. We all won on this decision. So after years of active service, Jim became president of this club in 1995. Some of his noted accomplishments for that year, he actually presided over a meeting in which Red McComb spoke at this meeting. I remember this. And we brought Rio Bravo from the Don Strange Ranch into the bright shawl, and we actually were leading him down the hall. I was holding his head so that he could get down the hall. And Red McCombs looked at me and said, you know, Rick, these Longhorns, you're just not real sure what they're going to do. I can't believe y'all would bring this animal into the bright shawl here. Well, Rio Bravo relieved himself for 3 minutes on the bright shawl dance floor. So that was one of the great accomplishments in Jim's year. Jim also elected to stop the paper edition of the Wheel of Fortune. How many of y'all remember the paper edition of the Wheel of Fortune that came? Don't we miss it? He decided to stop it. So for some reason, we only got it by fax back in those days. But of course, what he's known for, and what I'll talk about a little bit later, is bringing the 2001 International Convention to San Antonio. And by the way, San Antonio won that convention over Los Angeles, San Diego, Denver, Honolulu, and Minneapolis. So more on that in just a bit. Knowing that the convention would require a great deal of AV needs and all kinds of storage, Jim took a keen interest in the media. And in that business, he founded a business in San Antonio, Matson Multimedia, that he purchased in 1999. Just recently, in fact, just December 31, Jim retired from Matson and sold the business. And we are now very proud of the fact that he is leading our efforts in fundraising and moving ourselves forward to the new expanded Prassel Auditorium, the Whitney. So he is leading our team, and Maurice McDermott, I know you're here as well. There you are, Maurice. We're glad to have his leadership, but we're glad to have Maurice's leadership as well. So, let's look at his service to this club. He served as the founder for District 5840 Donor Advised Fund, for which many of our programs are beneficiaries, our Kingdom for Kids being one of them. We appreciate it so much. Served as the Lone Star Rotary Pets and Zone Trainer, helping to orient and onboard incoming presidents. On the international level, of course, he's known to the world as a leader on the RILA Committee, Convention Promotions Committee. But we all know Jim for leading the 2001 Rotary International Convention to San Antonio. And here's a slide of Jim standing on the stage of the great convention that was down at the Alamo Dome and being highly regarded by Frank Devlin and Sonny Brown there on stage. We were all part of that. It was sort of an exciting time. So he was elected the president-elect in 1994 and went to the Nice Convention. This is how he got the background on international conventions. He was most impressed and came home with a great idea. Why can't San Antonio do this? And so the following December, as club president, he relied on his experience in Nice to form an ad hoc committee. And from this club, he successfully attracting the convention. I was proud to be part of that committee as well. Many of us in this room were part of it. And in fact, I even wrote a little song to welcome the members of the site selection committee, as you well know. Deep within our hearts, we just want you to know it's great to have you with us here in San Antonio, with her culture and charm that all the world could know. Our flowering rose of Texas, San Antonio. There it is. End result, after that song, guess what happened? Our convention came to San Antonio. And it was a smashing success. And the eyes of the world were all on San Antonio. It also set the high water mark. It's very important to know that 24,000 in attendance. That's the largest U.S. convention since 1911, right, for the Rotary International. Jim was appointed the host committee chairman. So much good came from that convention, a profit of $500,000. And I don't know if there are many international committees, international conventions, how about even the Olympics, to raise a profit. So with that $500,000, there's been all kinds of gifts that come to our Rotary Foundation, $100,000 to there, $70,000 to the Club Educational Foundation, $320,000 set up in the Permanent District 5840 Donor Advised Fund. Thank you for that. And we also have a corpus of $320,000 today, all as a legacy to Jim Berg and the committee that helped on that Rotary International Convention. Later that year, in 2003 and 4, Jim was district governor for 5840 as well. On behalf of, he did so much for us and did a lot of great things, including taking teams to India to immunize for polio. There he is. So we all respect and admire what he's done with Rotary. He's also extremely impressive community resume, everybody. How he has time to do it all. The San Antonio Symphony Board has had him as vice chairman. He's a founder of Texas Public Radio. He's a trustee of Southwest Research Institute. He's on the board of Texas Research Park Foundation, board of San Antonio Festival, executive committee of Boy Scouts of America, and senior warden, Christ Episcopal Church. Jim and his lovely wife, Ruth, are going to be married 40 years. And so Ruth said, I should get a trophy for that, shouldn't I? I said, yes. So I have a bottle of Jameson Scotch right there. Right there, from our wonderful speaker today. So that's for 40 years. That's for 40 years married to Jim Berg. That's right. But they're major donors, benefactors, bequest society members of the Rotary Foundation. They have 4 beautiful children. 2 daughters live in San Antonio. Laura, a new mother, as you can see, married to Ned Hodge, and she's an agent for Phyllis Browning. Jennifer is single, and she's a fantastic oboist in the San Antonio Symphony, a wonderful musician. And his 2 sons live on the coast, Richard and Allison Berg in Manhattan, and Thomas and Rebecca Berg in Seattle. Ladies and gentlemen, we have such great pride recognizing our Rotarian of the Week, Rotarian of the Century,